Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. We had a pretty big meeting this week. You weren't there, were you?
No, not this one.
Parker was there.
Yep.
Is he the editor of Veritas?
I think he has some big job over there.
He's got a big job at the school.
Yes, he does.
Parker Richards.
Yeah.
He's the Gina's cameraman for
Right.
selectmen's meetings. That's good, so he can see what's going on there.
That's right.
Okay. So let's see, we had a bunch of announcements. This week, in case you did not know, was Red Ribbon Week, sponsored by the Nantucket Alliance for Substance Abuse Prevention, and you could have gotten a red ribbon, or you can just make your own, and that's the week. We have a special town meeting coming up on November 4th, starts at 6 p.m. at the high school auditorium. There are 13 articles. Theoretically, it shouldn't take that long. We do need a quorum for 2 of the articles. We need around 400 people-ish for the first article, which is budget adjustments, no impact to the taxpayer. The second article is a transfer of funds. We need a quorum of 3%, which is 200 and something people, I think. Anyway, it'll be painless. I almost promise it'll be painless. So please come to the special town meeting. Also, important breaking news. We've developed a guide to the warrant articles. It's supposed to be a layman's guide that explains them in plain English so you can understand what you're voting on. It's available now on the town website. We have copies of it here at Town Hall, and there will be copies of it at the special town meeting. The Saltmarsh Senior Center also has copies of it. So if you're thinking about whether or not you should go, grab the guide and go. Voter registration, if you're not a registered voter and you want to be a registered voter to vote in the special town meeting, registration is, it's today, sorry, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Too late.
Too late. The annual town meeting warrant for 2014 is currently available for citizen article submittals. You need the signatures of 10 registered voters. The deadline for those submittals is November 21st at 4 o'clock. We have no board meeting next week. The homecoming parade, this is always an exciting, fun, quick event, is tomorrow, Saturday. It leaves the high school around 9:30, comes through town and goes back. What else do we do? We had a lot of real estate items that we dealt with on Wednesday night. And we had a couple public hearings. One was for a planning board alternate vacancy. The other had to do with some articles that are on for the special town meeting. Let's see. We talked a bit about pending legislation. It's called House Bill 59, which relates to retiree health insurance. And that is some controversial legislation statewide. You can go to the mass.gov website and look it up if you want, and there are some summaries under I believe it's the Administration and Finance web page of the state website. There's a summary of the legislation. If you are not really associated with the town, I must admit you might not care all that much about this. The big thing, though, is that retiree health care costs are very expensive. And there are efforts to reform what retirees are provided and what they have to pay.
It's expensive for them, or?
It's expensive for the municipality.
For us?
For the municipalities, for the taxpayers,
Yeah.
yes. So there's a lot of talk statewide about how to reform that. And employees get upset about it. Taxpayers employees are obviously taxpayers also, but people who aren't employees who are taxpayers, or maybe who are not taxpayers, they get upset about it. Believe me, it's controversial. Probably hear more about that later. There's a hearing at the State House on Thursday, the 31st, and we're sending our HR person to it, and at least one person from the Finance Committee, I believe, is attending as well, so we'll be hearing more about this. We also had first quarter budget reports from the airport and for the general fund. We talked about parking, breaking news on parking. Beginning November 18th, and this will be posted on the website and notice put in the paper, the 1-hour parking zones that are in the core parking district, nothing to do with the residential parking district, core only, beginning November 18th, will change to 2-hour parking, and it will be enforced. So you will be able to come downtown and park in a 1-hour zone for the winter, November 18th, through May something. Whenever the NRTA starts, I forgot to figure out what that date is. It's around May 15th-ish.
Yeah.
You will be able to park in a 1-hour zone for 2 hours. But if you're there for longer than that, as I say, it's going to be enforced, so don't be surprised if you get a ticket. The other zones, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, will remain the same. And those are going to be enforced too, so be alert. The signs will change, so this will be noticeable in the 1-hour to 2-hour. So that is happening. The board also decided to allow overnight parking in the town lot. We've been getting some complaints that commercial vehicles are parking on the street all weekend, which they can do legally now, and overnight, and it takes up parking spots, and in some cases the streets are a little narrow, so it's when those like sort of box truck like things are parked there, it makes it hard for people to get by. Anyway, we're going to try out allowing those vehicles to park in the lot, in the town lot, at no charge, so that they're not parking on the street. We also had some more discussion about Baxter Road and the process to take by eminent domain alternate access in the event that the road fails. So what we're trying to do is get plans in place to establish alternate access routes in case the road fails. Won't do anything in terms of construction or anything like that until there is a need to, until certain criteria is met regarding the road itself. But we're going to be having a hearing on November 20th at the county commissioner meeting to take sort of phase 1 of the alternate access. Stay tuned, because there's more to come on that.
Well, if the road doesn't fail, then this is
No,
mute.
that's right. That's right. There, by the way, as an aside, there's a notice of intent that's been submitted to the Conservation Commission for geotubes for bluff stabilization, the toe of the bluff along a certain section of Sconset Bluff. I think we talked a little bit about this last week. The first hearing is next Wednesday, the 30th. So if you're interested, and if you are interested, you probably already know all this. The application is supposed to be posted on the notice of intent application. It's supposed to be posted on the town website later today once it's entirely compiled. And stay tuned again on that, because I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that whole project. We have a workshop meeting. The board has a workshop meeting on November 13th, and we talked about 3 topics for that meeting. Entertainment licenses, which is probably going to be more of a check-in about how the summer went, and do we need to resume our discussions about having consistent hours and noise levels and stuff like that. We have just engaged a consultant to perform a wage and compensation study for the town. This will involve, all the employees. We'll look at internal and external equity. We'll look at the Nantucket factor. And the consultant's going to come to the workshop meeting and talk to the board about the approach and the methodology for conducting the study. Lastly, we're going to be talking about space needs, municipal space needs, and what we need to be thinking about primarily for the next 3 to 5 years, and then what's on the horizon. So those are the things coming up. We do not have a selectmen's meeting next week, as I mentioned.
What
And
date is that? Just
the
because
30th
Okay.
of October. And we just have a lot of sort of town business things going on. We're in the process of developing our budgets for the next fiscal year, capital projects, the space needs plan that I mentioned, getting ready for the annual town meeting. The special, of course, is coming up in the week after next, Monday, the 4th.
Wow.
Lots of stuff going on.
It just seems so many things have to get done. Wow.
That's an understatement, Gino. By the way, if you see any fire chiefs walking around, the Mass Fire Chief Association meeting is here this weekend, today. They go to the White Elephant for their meeting.
Ooh, so
The
fancy.
managers would never go to a place like that because the managers are very frugal.
They figured, hey,
kidding.
if we're going to go to Nantucket, let's splurge.
And actually, I'm told they get a very good rate at the White Elephant.
Oh, they're
So
staying there too?
They stay there.
Ooh.
Yeah. But it's cool to have them come here, actually. Very nice.
I'll be there tonight
See if you see
doing a
them.
little shoot with Bob Lehman.
See if you can catch any of them.
Oh, they'll be all there.
Oh, they probably will be all there. You can welcome them to the island. You could say that I told you to welcome
I
them
will
to the
tell
island,
them.
because
I
I'm
will.
not going to be able to get to their lunch. I will.
They have a luncheon today?
They have a luncheon. They, they
Did
get
they
together and
invite
they
you?
talk about fire things.
Oh, that's
They,
nice.
they did invite me, actually. The fire chief invited me, but
How many of them, do you know how many there are? They're from all over the state?
I believe so.
Wow, that's cool.
Mark will kill me if I say the wrong thing, but I think it's maybe between 25 and 50.
Nice.
A good turnout.
Good turnout,
I
sure,
thought,
why
yeah.
not?
Yeah. So that's great. So they'll have a good time here, hopefully. What else? What are you hearing? Anything going on this weekend?
Well, have you seen Gravity yet?
No. Is it good?
Oh,
Really?
so good. I saw it. You gotta see it on the Cape.
Really? Oh.
You gotta see it in 3D on that huge
I don't
screen
like
they have.
3D.
Oh, come on.
It's weird.
When was the last 3D movie you saw?
I saw, I forget.
All right.
I had to wear
But
those
it's been a
awful
long
glasses.
time, right?
Well, I had to wear weird glasses.
Yeah, but this isn't that bad.
Really?
Yeah, no.
You know what I want to see? The movie where Robert Redford is in the sailboat.
I just,
And he doesn't,
Yeah.
there's hardly any
right.
dialogue, and it's only him in the sinking boat. I read a review about it in the Boston Globe magazine yesterday. It looks really good.
I saw him on Charlie Rose last night.
Really?
Yeah. I
Must
loved Robert Redford.
Yeah, he's good. He's almost 80 years old.
God.
I know.
He's just great.
You haven't seen the movie though, have you?
No.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It's just out. I want to see
Oh,
it too.
there's so many movies out.
That's a movie you probably want to see in the movie theater. not on
Huge
your TV.
screen, big giant screen.
Yeah.
Got to be the bigger screen, the better.
I haven't been to a movie in a long time.
I think it's time.
It is time. Definitely. It's past time. So is there anything else you think of?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay, very good. Then thank you very much. See you next time.